A very good evening to you, and you are welcome to the only show that Harriet Nartey. On today's episode of Diplomatic Affairs, I'm taking you all the way to Cuba. We are going to be delving into relations between Cuba and Ghana, or Ghana and Cuba. Now, on 3rd, 1960, grappled by the world. On this episode of Diplomatic Affairs, we will examine why the embargo has endured until today and its impact on the people and the economy. Again, we will delve into diplomatic relations between Ghana and Cuba, and of course, other issues of interest. My guest is Her Excellency Anette Chao Garcia, the ambassador of Cuba to Ghana. She will take her seat right after this break. Do stay with us.
We are the only one doing. Euracare is the only
facility
one
here.
facility doing the cardiac MRIs and spectroscopy like studies, only infrastructure.
So we have basically all the medications we need for our patient, from cardiology, all the specialists, cardiology, gastroenterology, fertility. We have everything here. Radiology, we have all the medicines here. So that's why I said this is where the magic is.
Yes.
Euracare is more like a one-stop shop. So if you come in, for most hospitals, you know that if you see a patient and the patient needs maybe an MRI or a CT scan, they would have to send the patient outside and do it. Because usually when I go out, I see a lot of ambulances parked from other hospitals. But we don't experience that. We are fortunate that we are able to get all our patients in-house, do all the investigations that we do, whether laboratory, radiological, whether it's an echo, we do everything. If you need to be sent to cath lab, we do everything here.
Welcome back. The show is Diplomatic Affairs and my name is Harriet Nartey. We are broadcasting in 46 African countries and of course we are global via social media. So you can watch us on Facebook, on YouTube Live and get to be part of today's interaction. And via satellite, we are in some parts of Europe as well. So wherever you are in the world, you can join us and let's have a very interesting conversation. Well, you know, this is the only show that brings you happenings from the diplomatic community. Whoever is coming into the diplomatic community, we make it our business to introduce them to you. And if it's time for them to leave as well, we also do well to bring them on the show to talk about their accomplishments and of course the challenges, you know, during their tenure in the country. And so we are always in the business of the diplomats right here in Ghana, and not just in Ghana, of course, global as well. Today, my guest is an exceptionally beautiful diplomat, and she is the representative of Cuba to Ghana, Ambassador, Her Excellency, Ambassador Anette Chao Garcia. I got it right. Your Excellency, you look so stunning. I love your outfit.
Thank you very much. It was a gift, and also it was made by Justin, a Ghanaian sailor. She's very, very good, and I hope she's
watching
us.
Yes, you told her you were going to appear on the only show, on the only diplomatic platform. Did you tell her that? Because she needs to see
I told her and Teresa, the daughter, because they are
Oh.
very, very good friends, very good friends.
You look lovely in that kente
This is
fabric.
all Ghana, yeah?
Ghana.
And here, Ghana also, and here.
Right. And this
I'm
is
proud
made in
to
Ghana
see you.
as well. It was right here designed, and of
We
course,
must be
so
proud of all
the things that we are
yeah,
doing, right?
we are doing
Yes.
here and in Cuba. Normally I wear guayabera, but today I want to do a different thing.
Project Ghana to the world.
Yes, because the world must know
Beautiful.
that you have wonderful fabrics and
Yes.
wonderful people that do beautiful things for all the world.
Well, it is an element of cultural diplomacy, or let's say, is there anything like costume diplomacy?
Actually, you know, I'm from protocol, and then normally the people from protocol, we don't like protocol because it's too straight. And for me, it's easy to do the things in the simple way.
Right.
I don't like too much jackets, and this we come. Then actually, this is the same climate that we have. I come
Exactly.
from a country that is very, very hot. Then it's easy to wear this kind of dress because normally the people said that kente is too, you know, too heavy, but
Yeah.
it's not,
But it's
because
not.
it has some holes.
Right.
It is a
It's
fabric
breathable.
made,
The
yes,
fabric
and
is
it's very,
breathable.
very good.
Right.
Then I can tell all the people that will be very good if they try at least. And
This is
actually, I
nice.
have some from the north also.
Yes.
yes,
That
I
one
have
too is
some from-
beautiful, right?
and it's less heavy, and
Yeah, it's
actually they
very
have
light.
beautiful and very
light.
very
That's
beautiful
lighter.
colors.
Right. You look
Yes.
stunning in that.
Thank you very much.
Well, welcome once again to Diplomatic Affairs. I am so thrilled to have you on my show today. I've been trying to schedule an interview with you for some time now, and so today I am extremely excited to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. You know, Pan-African is my house.
Yes.
My first interview was here with my mentor, Kwesi.
Yes.
And actually, I'm planning to do more interviews here with you. And I love the way that Pan-African have to tell the people the reality of Africa. It's not only about Ghana.
Right, it's not only about Ghana, so it's for Africa, it's for us, continental agenda we are pushing right here. And we have a special relationship with Cuba as well. Now, let's talk about you so we can get to know you before we get into, you know, business, serious issues. Let's talk about you. Who are you?
I think the most important thing is not me, you know.
Yes, but you are still here
now
representing the people.
you know me too much.
Right.
Then you know that for me it's easy to talk about other things and not to me. I'm just
Tell
a
me about your
Cuban.
career journey.
I'm just a Cuban lady, a Cuban lady that born in the revolution, and I'm very happy to born in my revolution in my country. With all the problems we have, I know that it was the best thing that we give to our people. Then as a Cuban lady, mixed one because I'm not white, I'm not black, then I'm in the center of both races. I born in that place that gave me the opportunity to be a lawyer and also to be to have my master's degree in international relations, politics, and after that I was a specialist in public administration, and all the things that I know to do is to work at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because when I became lawyer, they took me from the university directly to the ministry. I went to Sub-Saharan Africa Division, and after that I went to Saudi Arabia, an interesting and very, very good mission that I had there, 2 years.
Saudi Arabia?
Yes, it was very good, and
2 years.
I achieved a lot. I met there very beautiful people, very good people, very professional, men and women, and I did too much things there. It was very good. After that, I returned to Cuba. I worked in protocol. Our protocol is protocol from the state and also from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And after that to Germany for years as chief of the diplomatic office we have in Bonn. It was extraordinary mission also. And then to Cuba again for years, and here in Ghana. And I have to tell you that in 2018 I came here.
2019?
18.
18, you were in
Yes,
Ghana.
I came here as protocol of my former is a vice president, and it was a wonderful opportunity to meet Africa. The first country that I came, I have never been in a country that speaks in English. Then at the beginning I said, oh my God, I don't know English, I don't know at all. Because your accent at the beginning was difficult. But 2 days after, I became a Ghanaian, and as now. Normally, I don't take the car to go to the embassy and this. I walk and I talk to my neighbors, and all the security, they know me, and they tell me, Excellency, like, but I'm the neighbor, I'm not the Excellency. And that's very, very, very good.
Awesome. I am excited about your journey, and congratulations once again on your appointment as Cuba's ambassador to Ghana. You did mention that you achieved a lot during your tenure, your duty tour in Saudi Arabia, and of course other places that you have you've served in. I do believe that you are going to accomplish so much in Ghana as well, because you started off well, and we are here to support you. You also mentioned about the many challenges faced in Cuba. I would want us to begin with the blockade imposed by the U.S. It's 60 years and it's still here with us, stuck with you. And I'm just wondering, how are you managing, especially in this, economic crisis, COVID here and there? So let's talk about the blockade, just to appreciate where you are coming from and how much work you've had to do to actually contribute to the economic development of your country.
Actually, let me go a little back. To understand the reality of a phenomenon, the thing is, you need to understand what happened. The difference with the United States don't come from 1959. Actually, the United States want as another state of them from the 18th century. Because we were, under the colonialism of Spain, but Spain lost the strength at that time. And then they make a new way to colonize us. Then they were in Cuba from 1902 till 1959. In 1959, the triumph of the revolution changed all the things. And then came a different way to do the reality. And at that time, they began taking some measures that did very bad things for us. For example, we have only one production. It was the sugar cane. And they cut all the things that we were taking for the sugar cane. They tried to make us the blockade before they have this executive order that they approved on, as you said, in February the 3rd, 1962, with the Kennedy government, yes.
So the blockade had been introduced before the executive order?
Yes. Actually, they did it. In 1959, when we decided the triumph of the revolution, they began a big war against us. As they normally do, when they don't have, I'm talking about an empire, and you know that, when they don't have the possibility to win a war, they began to do it with different ways. And then, 1960, we decided to nationalize all these big companies, because a country without the economic power cannot go, cannot achieve too much. Then we decided to nationalize. And then from 1960, they began a new history. This history also had in the center of that the Pigs Bay. In 1961, they prepared all these situation with the mercenaries in Cuba, and it was a difficult moment because we lost a lot of Cuban people. And then 1961 was the moment where we decided to be socialist. Then another pretext for them to come to us. Another excuse for them to do all the things that they did in 1962 with this order executive signed by Kennedy.
So the essence of the blockade was to attain a regime change, if I'm right.
That's the idea.
That's the idea.
Yes. Normally, the United States, they have a concept of democracy that is not the concept of democracy from the ancient times. The democracies, they are democracy in their way. In our way, the democracy is the power of the people. And if our people decided to be under this system, the revolutionary government, then why they must want to change us? They don't have to do it. They don't have to go to Afghanistan. They don't have to go to Iran. They don't to Iran. Sorry. They don't have to go to Syria to change the status quo. The thing is, they must accept that every country must live as they want. You cannot change the thing in my house. If you come to my house and you change a painting, I say, why? Why that painting? You put it like that because it's my house, and I deserve the opportunity to choose. The thing with the blockade is that it has some different excuses in the time. At the beginning was because the triumph of the revolution, and then they decided to do all the things with Peter Pan operation and all these ugly things they did. Then in 1962, they signed the executive order. And then come this time with all this, but at that time, the Soviet Union was there, was strong, and all that. But after that, began a new time. When the Berlin Wall came down, came the big problem. In 1992, they had a new law, the Torricelli law. And then this embargo that was at the beginning became a blockade, because as the people that know, not me, because I don't know anything about it, only some things that I read, they said from that moment they changed into the blockade, because from that moment was extraterritorial. From that moment, 1992, and then 1996, because of the Helms-Burton law, then became a big problem for Cuba. Because if you, as Ghana, wants to have trade with us, you cannot go to the United States to trade with them.
Right.
That's why it's so painful for us.
It's indeed very painful. And of course, I read about the legislative order introduced to ban a third party from doing business with Cuba. If you have to do business with the United States of America, of course, that means you cannot do business with Cuba. And I think there were so many reasons for which they imposed a blockade, or sanctions were imposed on Cuba. One was that you were supporting terrorist activities.
Let me tell you about that. In 1982, they decided to put us on this list that says that we are a state supporting the terrorism. Then, it was in 1982. But as I told you, then the Soviet Union helped us a little, and then we were a little strong because of all the countries that were working together to do the things in a different way. When the special period that you know that we lived from 1989, and then it was our worst moment, they began to do more things against us. But this time was terrible and all this. But then in 2015 came a change. You know, Obama tried at the end of his administration to do some things, but the things wasn't too much. He did some. One of those things was to put off Cuba from this list.
But was Cuba supporting terrorist activities or terrorism?
How can we do that? First, we don't have money to do that. Second, we just want to be free, and that's the thing. And they took this as an excuse. You know, we are there right now with 3 other countries, North Korea, Syria, and Iran, and Cuba. Then we are the bad people on the world for the United States. And then with this this idea of national security, they do all those because they are an empire and they think they are the most important thing in the world. They don't care about other countries.
Now, it's been 60 years since the blockade. And one of the things that comes in mind is, how is Cuba managing economically? How are you managing? Because you already established in your previous submissions that this is really affecting the people and of course the economy. So let's talk about, and especially if you've had to do business with the United States of America, it means you cannot do business with Cuba. You have, how many missions do you have around the world?
More than 150.
More than 150 missions in the world.
Talking about consulates and
Consulates and then
yeah.
embassies together combined. Let's talk, how are you managing? Economic diplomacy is very essential in this day and age. How are you managing? Even though you've been very resilient with time, but how are you managing?
I think this is the key. We are very resilient. And we try every day hard. You know, the only way to be happy is to have love. And then we love too much. And we prioritize the things. First, for us it's very important, before this thing about the economic diplomacy, we have a priority that is for us the health. If you don't have health, you cannot be a complete human being. And then in Cuba, we have a big amount of our budget to go to the health. And as you know, in Cuba, it's free, the health care. The second, we prioritize the education, because education is important for the people to have culture and then them to go and make more from their life. And with those priorities, we try to manage, but it sometimes it's very, very difficult. Right now, we are in a difficult moment. As you know, Hurricane Ian came to Pinar del Rio, that is the western part of the island, and sometimes it's difficult to manage the things, because I had my country, and I say I because I'm suffering with them. My mom has had more than 90 hours without electricity. Because we have to fix all the things, but it's very difficult. But we have the solidarity. And actually Mexico, and I'm very grateful for that, sent us a lot of things to fix all those things in electricity. But it's also difficult. And we have the solidarity also here in Ghana, as you know. I told you when we were talking before that we had an explosion, for example, in Saratoga Hotel. Do you know what the solidarity did here? The Socialist Movement of Ghana, the Cuban residents, the Cuban that we are working here, all the medical brigade with me, Tobinco, that helped us a lot, and some friends, and also the Ghana-Cuba Parliamentary Friendship Board, all of them, they gave us medicines, they gave us some money to buy more medicine and to pay some bags, and we sent 14 bags of medicines to Cuba, just to help a little Cuba, because we have a very good development in biotechnology, but it is very difficult, because how can you take the raw materials to make all those medicines that we did? Actually, in coronavirus, we had the possibility, actually we achieved. We have a wonderful achievement to have 3 vaccines from our country. And then, for us, it's very, very, very good, more, because there, in science, we have more women than men. Then it is more achievements. And also, we did that in coronavirus, that was a big problem for all the country, but all the countries on the world, and also with 243 new sanctions that Trump imposed to us. 243
sanctions
in
imposed
coronavirus
by Trump
administration.
Trump.
Yes. And I can tell you that right now, with Biden, in 14 months of his administration, we lose more than $6 billion in 14 months. If Cuba, as the big solidarity we all time are exercising in the world, if Cuba had more, Cuba can help more countries. As you know, for a long time, we gave a lot of scholarships. We gave a lot of possibilities to all the African people, and also in Latin America and in different parts of the world. We gave the opportunity to people to study and to understand that life is more than to be there struggling every day for the things. The idea for us, yes, please.
Go ahead, please, Your Excellency.
The idea for us is to prepare the people, they to have the possibility to decide what they want for them.
That's very interesting. So 150 missions across the world. You have very good relationship with so many other countries. So, again, let's go back to economic diplomacy. Are you able to achieve, even though you have this as an obstacle in achieving your goal or agenda towards economic diplomacy in, economic liberation for your country or bringing freedom economically to your country? How are you able to manage? Because if these countries cannot do business with US because they've had to choose Cuba over the United States, how is that playing out in your relations with these countries?
Things I don't know.
Difficult.
Things I don't know what, because I'm not religious and I want to be consistent. I cannot, thanks to God, but thanks to the life, there are some enterprises that they don't have anything with the United States, and then they have trade with us. But it is difficult. It's very, very difficult. As I told you before when we were talking, we have some medicines that we can give here to Ghana. We can sell to Ghana, and we are working on it. And we are doing some things with Ghana, because Ghana all time support us. They didn't care about the blockade.
Do you think you could have done more, or you could have done more?
Yes,
and
we are doing that. We are trying to break the blockade from our side. We are trying to work more to have more achievement, even if we have this blockade. The thing is, we have to continue working. We must know that we will survive, but it's difficult. Sometimes, we have crisis of faith and say, oh my God, but no, we can, because we got a leader that showed us, Fidel Castro Ruz, our commander-in-chief, he shows us that we can more and more. And when you think, he said, that your strength is not too much, don't worry, that strength will be for you for 1 or 2 more weeks. You can do it more and more.
Despite all this, the challenges, the difficulties in going about your job sometimes, Cuba was able to produce a vaccine for COVID-19.
3.
Wow, 3 kinds of vaccines,
yeah, and
right?
we have the population is
I remember
more than
well
90%
is vaccinated. I remember very well because I had a conversation with your predecessor, Pedro Gonzalez. This was after he left. This was when he was leaving. We had the opportunity to interview him on Diplomatic Affairs, and he was super excited about this development. And have you been able to at least distribute to your other countries that you have a very good relationship with? Have you been able to
also with
sell them
the
out?
Sahrawi people and Vietnam and some in Iran and also in South Africa?
What happened to Ghana? We're expecting to have received some vaccines from Cuba because I saw this.
Yes, but you made some other arrangements,
right.
and that's why we didn't concrete that. But I can tell you, and I love to talk about my country, that we have more than 90% of the population complete vaccinated.
More than 90% of the population.
Yes, because all the people, all the children up to 2 years, they had the vaccine, because our vaccines are approved for that.
Yes.
Also, my son, he came here with 16 years old, and he had Abdallah in his spine. And then I'm a very, very proud Cuban, very, very proud.
Well, what was the expectation when Obama became president of the U.S.?
Actually, for us was a big thing, because it was the first black president, and also with all those progressive ideas. But it is very difficult, because it's not only what the president wants. The thing is, he is, as all of us, we are in a society. And you cannot change all the principles of the society. And he has there a big gangster, crew there in Florida. And then it's very difficult for a president to decide the things freely. They are not free. They are talking about freedom all time to all the countries, but they are not free, because the economic there is the one that decides everything. And then the people in Florida, they have a lot of votes, as you know, and then they are very important for them. And Obama tried to do some things, but it was at the end when he has nothing to lose.
But some things were taken out. Like, for instance, I read
he made easy to go to Cuba, and also he put our country out of this list that I told you, that is to sponsor terrorism. And but not too much. The thing is, we need.
Did that help somehow?
Yes, at that moment, a lot of United States citizens
Exactly,
came
because
to
I know
Cuba,
that
and
the
this,
U.S.
but
citizens
right now,
were banned from traveling to Cuba.
right now, as Trump put on
Yes,
us again
right.
to the list in 2021, and now Biden did it again.
Okay.
Then the people cannot have the normal visa to go to the United States if they went to Cuba. This visa ESTA, the name they have, the electronic visa they give to them. The people cannot do it. If you want to go to Cuba, you can go, but we cannot put a stamp on your passport. Because if they know that you went to Cuba, yes. And then with Obama, they try not to have all this problem with the financial things. But right now, if a company,
and all that.
yes, if a company wants to make to invest in Cuba, they cannot do it in the United States, and they will try to raise why you take the money and all this. I can tell you, with the minister of health here, they pay for the doctors they have here because we have a medical brigade here, as I told you.
We'll talk about the medical brigade here.
You know,
it's one of the exchanges.
They are my people. I love them.
Exactly. We'll talk about that. Do you think at the highest level, the multilateral level, which is the United Nations, do you think they are doing much at that level, at the multilateral level?
Let me finish with this thing. The thing is, the Minister of Health here, every time they will send some money to Cuba to pay for the doctors, the United States ask, not the United States, the bank ask because of the United States, a lot of things. They must prove why are they sending USD to Cuba. Then difficult. Talking about the multilateral
United Nations.
To the United Nations, I have to tell you, we began there in 1992. Yes, 20 years now. Actually, no, 20, no, 30 years now. Yeah. The thing is, we won. Any time that we went to put the resolution against the blockade there, we have the majority in our side, but nothing happened. And actually, we asked all the delegations to mention us or to mention the blockade on their speeches, you know, the speech of the chief of the delegation, but nothing happened. Because on those moments, as you know, United Nations is like a big dream. It's a wonderful thing if they can do all the things that they want to do. But right now, it's not doing too much. It's not doing too much, not for us. But the resolution is still there.
Yes.
We will have it again on November 2 or 3. Will be the
Is that going to change
voting.
anything?
No, but we must continue struggling. We must continue fighting. We must continue doing this because the war now is not conventional. I can tell you that in 2021, in March, they began a big campaign in Cuba, very big, with our people in the digital media. We talk about digital media, that I don't like to say social media.
We'll talk about that.
I learned that from Fray Beto, then I have to respect this wonderful man. And in digital media, they began a big campaign against us. As you know, young people all the time, they are with the phones. Actually, you, because you are young. I'm old, I don't like digital media. I'm really old. Then they began that, and they began with a sticker. The name is hashtag SOS Cuba. And it was all a campaign trying the United States to go into Cuba and to invade Cuba. It's a crazy thing. And a lot of Cuban inside Cuba, they wanted them to do that. What is the idea? The idea is to begin to make a lot of pressure to the boiling point. And then what's happening with the people? The people will go to the street because the people need normal things because we don't have it. We don't have it because of the blockade, but we don't have it because of the coronavirus. We don't have it because all the world is in a big crisis. And sometimes the people lose the faith. Then came, July 11th, a terrible time. Yeah. I was in Cuba. And I can tell you the truth. In the streets, I saw the streets. The people that was there, they were criminal, more, the majority. There are some that was confused and this, but more of them, they went to the streets to break some shops, to do some things that, what for? If you do that, in that moment, then you will have less later. The thing is, it's better to be disciplined, to be good with your society, and to make the things that you can do.
Very interesting. Right. So the blockade, its impact on Cuba, the people, and of course the economy, and still looking forward to things getting better at the United Nations, and hoping that things would change. You are very hopeful, and I'm so surprised because you continue to look within to still take care of yourselves, financially, economically, creating jobs and all of that. It must be very, very difficult. But the European Union, you have a very good relationship with the EU. And the EU was not in support of the extension of the third party, the executive order or legislative order. That's the legislative order for extended to the third party doing business with these other countries. The EU was not in support of that because they thought the US was trying to dictate to the rest of the countries how to carry or go along their businesses. How did that end?
Harriet, I have to tell you something. If the people of Pan-African doesn't want the leader of Pan-African to be the leader that he is, the people of Pan-African, or they will go, or they will change the reality. The thing is, if you want to change the reality, you do it. If not, you are putting warm clothes on the thing, but living like this. And let's continue with that.
That's very interesting.
But the thing is, if you want something, you will achieve it, for sure.
Okay. In other words, if you truly wanted change,
to help Cuba,
you would have done everything possible to help Cuba.
I told you, I work in Germany, and I see that people from the Solidarity, they do too much for us. If the government want to do it, they can achieve more. But I know every country has their own problems.
Right.
It's difficult. It's very difficult. Politics are difficult because they depend on the economic.
Interesting. Let's move away from all the challenges regarding the blockade and making lives difficult for the people of Cuba. Let's talk about relations with Ghana. You have a solid relationship,
yes.
and I can tell from the smile on your face. Let's talk about the areas of, interest, the areas of cooperation between our two countries. What's happening culturally, economic or trade-wise? What are we doing in that area?
I'm very proud of the things that we do, not only in Ghana, but in Africa, because, there is a phrase very interesting that the people use that says that Africa calls and Cuba always answers. And that is the thing that we wanted to do with Africa. Sometimes when I talk about the African nations here, the African embassies, I said we. Hey, I'm not from Africa, but then it's the feeling that I have that I'm from Africa. I'm not black, but it's okay. Like this, when you see me dancing, you can see that I'm from Africa. Then the thing is, with Ghana, we have a very good relationship, very good for a long time. As you know, 23rd September 1959, and the revolution triumphed in 1959, but in January. And we did a lot of things with all these Cuban trains. There are around 3,000 Cuban trains. They are very good. They help too much. They work too hard with us. I can tell you with these medicines that we send, a lot of people from Tamale, the Cuban train from Tamale, they sent a lot of medicines, and they are proud to help Cuba. And also, the first donation that went to Cuba were from the Cuban train. They do it for this Saratoga, before the medicines that we send, before they did it alone. Then it can talk about how important it is for the Ghanaian train in Cuba and the relation with Cuba. Also, we did for a long time, we had a lot of doctors here, for free. They were cooperation. Right now we have a medical brigade, not too big, but they are here helping. And some Cuban residents, they are doctors and nurses, and they are in the health sector. They are working here, and we are proud of them. Even if they are not from our medical brigade, they know. And actually, I talk to them in this position because it's important, all of us to be together.
All right. I have some visuals. I believe you are ready to share those visuals on our screens. So let me know when you are ready so we can play those visuals to support our conversation regarding the Cuban Medical Brigade right here in Ghana. So
yes, the thing is,
you've had a couple of events, activities in the country.
Yes, we do it every month. I have to say thank you to my colleague Frances, Frances, the ambassador of Sierra Leone.
Oh.
One day she came in one of the activities we do. You know, we are a lot of ladies and ambassadors here, and we have some activities. And the first one that I went, that was in the Norwegian ambassador house. She told us that she wants to help some widows that has no money, they have nothing to do, and they are living in one of the churches in Santa Maria community.
Right.
And I told her, I don't have money to give you clothes. I don't have money to give you, I don't know, a thing to change their life, but we can change their life in a different way. She was like, what is happening with this lady that just arrived? I told Frances, what don't we do? A free screening, a health screening for them. He said, are you going to do that for... Yes.
Free health screening.
It was the first one. It was in November, 13 November, 2021. And actually she was, are you going to do that? I said, yes, we will do that. And we did it. It was the first one in Santa Maria community.
Okay.
And from that moment, every month, we do one in different communities.
This was right when you arrived.
Yes.
Okay, I understand we have the visuals ready, so please let's play them. Let's take a look at that particular activity.
Good healthcare contributes greatly to achieving national goals and objectives, and consequently, international goals such as the Millennium Development.
The Honorable Samuel Okuyeto Blanco,
Right.
my God, that day was more than 1,600 people we saw that day. And I say we because I'm the one that organized the lines.
Right, so
Yes.
that's more than 1,000 people
600
showed
people,
up for that
yes,
particular
with the health
screening.
screening, yes. And then the Honorable Okuyeto, he managed to give the medicines, and then I organized all the lines with one of the doctors, and I got there 15 doctors. But it was too huge that I finished. It was from 10 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon.
Overwhelming.
My God, Volta region. And we are planning to do it again in December.
In December?
In December,
okay.
in the same place, just to help, not in the same place, in the same community, but in a different place to help other people.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you'll be moving from, let's say, one region to the other.
Yes,
hopefully,
yes.
hopefully you want to see that.
And actually, yes, we did it with Samuel. We did it with the MP from Medina a week ago, and we are trying to go from different communities, yes,
Okay.
vulnerable communities, to help them. We did it in Dansoman, in Achaiman.
All right. Now, so I think that's where was this again?
This one was it's in the border between Medina and Adenta. It's with the Cuban train.
Okay.
With Amposahi has a laboratory there, and we did it also with the Institute of Peace of Progress. You know, this is a Muslim organization, and we did it there. And they came not 1,600, it was too much, but because
Right.
I had less doctors there, but we took care of around 500 people there.
500
Yes,
people
yes,
in a
it's
day?
Good. In a day, it's good. It's good. It's very
That's
good.
big.
And I was the pharmacist that
Ah.
sometimes I'm the pharmacist.
Yes, and
my
sometimes-
doctor said I will be a bachelor in medicine, not a doctor in medicine, a bachelor in
Bachelor in
medicine.
medicine. That's fantastic. You're doing a very good job in Ghana, Your Excellency. I must say, I know that the health brigade is a big deal for you in Ghana, because this has transitioned from governments to governments, and so you are very much excited about it when it comes to these things. You also talked about the Cuban community in Ghana. How big is it?
It's around 100 people.
Right.
Yes, it's not too big, but they are very good people. And they are doing the things, they are very disciplined, and they are doing very good things here. They are, the majority are in the health sector, but they are doing well, and that's good.
That's very good. You also spoke about you talked about the education, the educational
Yes.
exchange between
We
Cuba
have
and
around
Ghana.
300 students there in Ghana, Sorry, in Cuba. No, not a scholarship. They are a scholarship, but from Ghana. They are paying for them to go to Cuba. Yes. Sometimes it's difficult because for them it's a different way to see life, and in Cuba we live in a different way. We don't eat pepper at all. Yeah.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Well, you have something in common with the East Africans. They also do not take pepper at all.
We don't.
So how are you surviving? Then we'll come to your a few Ghanaian or local dishes that you might have tried in the country. Let's talk about that. Since you don't eat pepper, how are you
I will
surviving?
make you a confession. I won't tell you where, but I went to see a very high authority here, and he invited me for lunch. I cried. I cried.
You cried because of the pepper.
Maybe now when he see this, he will know that was him, because he left me alone, me to eat alone and with calm. And I was crying. I told the cook, don't tell him, please. Don't tell him. But I was crying. I cannot eat pepper at all. Some of my daughters, they took some, but then comes some problem, gastritis and all this, because we are not prepared for that.
Are you still struggling, or you've been able to manage? Adjust?
No.
Manage. You still don't take pepper?
No, I won't.
Let's talk about your favorite local Ghanaian dishes.
For example, I ate banku, I ate fufu, but without pepper. My cook made for me this.
Okay, so you take banku. Which is your favorite?
Actually, I do like okra too much, but without pepper. I like the soup that you make with okra, because I like it.
Have you tried the red and then Ghana jollof?
No, it's too spicy.
Yeah.
The lady for me, the cook make it for me without spicy, because we have something, it's close, the name is arroz amarillo, it's the like yellow rice. It's close, but she make it for me without pepper.
Let me use this opportunity to talk about food in Cuba and Ghana. What do we have in common? Let's do a bit of culinary diplomacy.
We like the beans and this, but our food is very different. For example, we eat the cassava, we eat it boiled with some mojito. There is some garlic and onion and this, but we don't need the cassava in the way that you eat it normally, you know. And we eat the sweet potato, but in the same way we boil it, and then we put some things on them. And the black beans and the red beans, you don't have black beans here, but not too much, but yes, black bean and the red beans, sorry, the red beans, we do it in our way. But I can tell you that in my house, my medical brigade, they have a big farm. We plant, yes, because we think that we can do the things by our own. I don't have to buy lettuce outside of my house. We eat the lettuce of the house. We have tomato. We have cassava for the end of the year. We have a lot of things there.
That's a good practice.
And also black beans, black beans, because as we cannot take them here too much, then we have it. And also cilantro is a thing that we eat, and also the Peruvian people,
You've been in the country for
1 year.
1 year.
Yes.
Interesting. 1 year in Ghana. Let's look at you as the youngest ambassador of Cuba. Yes, of Cuba, and the first female ambassador of Cuba in Ghana. Can we move from culinary diplomacy or food diplomacy and talk a bit about women empowerment? What does it mean to you, and of course the women that you meet every now and then? What's the impact?
Let me tell you that in Cuba it's very normal. For example, in our parliament we have 53.4% of the ladies.
Women?
Yeah, women. They are women. And also in the
That's
technical and high education, we have 80%
of women.
Yes. And then in science 70%. Then we are in power in Cuba, and also in state and government 50% they are ladies. We have a lot of ministers, one vice prime minister. Then we work too hard. We don't have the same opportunities. We have a machist society, but we have very good leaders that they have a positive policy just to change the reality. Then to come as an ambassador, it's not too much being a Cuban.
Right.
But the good thing is you have a lot of ambassadors here, and that talks very good about you. You know, because if we come here, it's because our countries are safe. They know we are safe here. They are sure that we will do our duty with all the possibilities that has men. And that's very good. And then I want to tell you that the only thing that I can give to all the ladies that are watching the show is them to be confident. As I told you, you are very beautiful. You don't need too much. As you see me, I don't have any hair. It's my hair. I don't paint it. I cut it and finish.
Right.
I don't spend too much time making up my face, because when I do it, I have allergy and this. Then I live.
Appreciate your features.
And the idea is to be simple, and then life is better. And to have these things that you have, to use it, to wear it with all the pride, because you are beautiful. You are very, very beautiful. And then society told you that you are different.
Yes.
But you are not. You don't need to be like the white people. You don't need to.
Your Excellency, we have less than 5 minutes to wrap up already. I told you, 1 hour.
My God, I talk too much. I'm so sorry.
No, but this is the essence of this
sorry.
is to talk and get the right information and message to the people who are watching us today. I have received so many messages, but unfortunately, time will not permit us to read them. But I want you to, what's the direction? Share with us. How much do you want to achieve in Ghana, accomplish in Ghana as the first female ambassador of Cuba?
You know, the first thing that I will tell you, and this is a new thing, is very soon we will have this agreement about the biolarbicides plant signed. Then that's a good thing and will be an achievement of my government, not of me, because I'm only a representative. I'm only the person that came here to help the things and to do some things to help my country. And also, I want to continue working with my medical brigade to go to all those vulnerable communities, because the thing is not to go there to make the free screening. The idea is them to have education on health. And talking about education on health, we are planning to have a program here in this Pan-African TV to educate the country on health, because it's important. And I was reading in the newspapers that you want to do, and a very good speech that someone read from the Honorable Bagmin, the Speaker of the Parliament, talking about the important thing to the wash, to take care of the water and all these things. And we want to help from that possibility with my Cuban doctor.
That's very interesting. I'm looking forward to that particular event right here at Pan-African Television. I've got 2 messages for you. So the Young African Women's Congress, Young African Women's Congress, the president has asked me to invite you to their program on Monday, and if possible, share his contacts with your office.
For sure.
So you can reach out to them, or they can reach out to you. So they would want you to come and empower the young women who are coming from Africa, all over Africa. We have Ethiopians, we have, East Africa, West,
we are the
North,
same.
everybody joining. So they would love you to grace the event on Monday. So if with your permission, I'll share their contacts with you, then you take it from there. And of course, Rocky Dawouni, have you heard of him?
No.
Rocky Dawouni is an international artist, musician, and he's an ambassador of the UN, an advocate of environment and climate. And he's doing a lot. He was on my show recently. And so he's asking if you could attend his event at Kempinski. I think they will share details with
tell him
you.
to write me or call me anytime. Will be very good. And maybe we can do some things in environment, because in Cuba we have a lot of things.
Tourism too is big in Cuba.
Yes, the thing is I talk too much.
Final word.
But we have to
final word. Let's end it with tourism. Sell Cuba to me.
Then the idea in tourism is we want to share with you all the experiences that we have. We use our castles, and we do it in culture, and we do it trying the people to read more, and we made some events with books and this there. And the UNESCO is working with me in a new project. The name is Yo Si Puedo, Yes I Can, for the literacy here. And then you will have more information in some other programs.
Are you doing something with the tourism ministry? in Ghana?
Actually, we talk some things, but right now he's, as you see, he's very busy. Very busy, but we can help him.
Too.
We can help him. And with your resources, you don't need more than that. That's the thing. I think the most important part of a person, and I'm not talking about a government, don't ask the people to give you. You can achieve. You can do it by yourself.
Right. The most important part of government is don't ask the people to give you. Is that what it is? Or don't ask the government?
I'm not talking about governments.
Right.
I'm talking about me as a person. As a person. Don't ask the people to give you.
Okay.
Try to do it yourself. Yes.
All right.
And as a government, you can do some things with your castles. You can put some things on them, cultural things that you can do there.
Yes.
Some programs, and the people will come, and then
take it from there.
And actually, your minister is doing
a lot.
Yeah,
a lot in that area. A lot.
Yeah.
Can we end the show?
Then
anything you want to say?
Can we continue talking?
No, we can't continue talking. We can end the show. I hope.
Please. Yes, it was a wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Anette Chao Garcia, for gracing our platforms today. We really appreciate it, and it's been very nice talking to you. Even I've been talking to you behind the scenes, but today I decided to share you with the Ghanaian people and of course the rest of the world, and just because I am inspired by your willingness and your desire to do so much, push and continue to push and not give up on yourself and of course the people whom you are representing in this country. So I'm super excited. It's been a very fruitful conversation, and I want to say thank you very much for honoring our invitation on Diplomatic Affairs.
Thank you.
And of course, thank you also for watching every now and then. Every Saturday when we come your way, we tell you what is happening in the diplomatic community. We keep you abreast of information from the diplomatic community. And without you, there is no show, there is no us. And so we are very, very thankful to you for your support always. Thank you very much for being our guest today. And of course, I look forward to seeing you same time next week. My name is Harriet Nartey. Enjoy the weekend.